This is Talk of the Town on WSAL. I'm Matthew Paul, your host. Good morning to you. We are joined this morning by Logansport Mayor Chris Martin.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, we're doing good. We're almost done with January. 1 month down almost. So
Just keep chugging right along, baby.
That's right. That's all you can do.
Chugging right along. And you brought your deputy mayor in, Stacy.
Yes.
Good to have you.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing well.
All right. Good to go. Good to go. So you have made the transition from clerk treasurer into deputy mayor. How's that going?
Well, it's going pretty well.
It's going pretty well.
Slightly chaotic,
Sure.
but you know.
Sure. Is it busier than you thought it would be?
The mayor's office is definitely busier than I thought it would be.
Really?
But I'm hoping that dies down a little bit
Right.
in the coming weeks. But
Did
not sure it will.
did you tell me you're kind of working with the clerk treasurer's office?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely some year-end reporting things that they need help with.
Okay.
And they've been flexible. I've had to really work around our busy schedule in the mayor's office, but obviously year-end tax reporting and things is important.
Right.
So
Right.
Mayor Martin has been gracious enough to let me spend some time in that office.
So speaking of that, you get the phone call, or I don't know how it went down, but you were asked to be deputy mayor. What's your first initial reaction to that?
That's a tough one. No, honestly, I was excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hesitant but excited. I felt like it was a really good opportunity for me to continue working with the community and be given more of an opportunity to make a difference. The clerk treasurer's office was very inundated with paperwork, and I was not able to get out of the office and interact with the public and
Right.
be a part of the leadership team that was
Because
making a
that's where
difference.
you felt like you were getting drawn to do, was be part of a leadership decision-making type.
I did.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now you're in it.
Now I'm here.
And how's it going?
It's going well.
It's going well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you guys have had a pretty ambitious 100-day plan.
Yes.
And how are things going with that?
The thing is, it's going well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things happening, and it's a very exciting time for Logansport. There's all the things that we've talked about doing, but then so many more things have just come up that it's just a lot of positive momentum for Logansport, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
So speaking of positive momentum, that's something that we need to really kind of capitalize on, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. It has, but that's one of the things I know you have been a big proponent of, is just keeping things positive and let's drop the negativity with it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And that's the goal. Is when the negative's coming at you, and things that you're not expecting to happen or be said, you just kind of keep focused, stay on the path. You can't give that attention, because as soon as you start giving that negative attention, it's just
Right.
going to continue to be negative.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just got to stay positive. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So so what's on the agenda? What's coming up next? What do you guys got cooking?
That's a loaded question. We have a lot of things happening. We had the kickoff meeting yesterday for the downtown MSRP grant, so
Okay.
that's going to keep us busy. So it's helping support some just paperwork to get started.
Okay, I guess let's talk about that for a second, because it's a big deal that we got that, and I guess, for lack of a better question to ask, why does that matter?
It matters because it's almost $1 million invested in our downtown. So the downtown is the heart of a community. So when people are looking to where they want to open business, expand business, granting agencies, everybody looks at your downtown. Obviously, our downtown facades have needed some improvement for a long time. So this is something that actually was started maybe 2015. So when I came in 2016, they were already working on this grant. So this has been a long time coming. So it's pretty exciting for the people that have been working on it. And just visually, it's going to improve 8 buildings in our downtown and spread out on all different main thoroughfares. So it's going to make a big impression visually. And hopefully it will spur other beautification by business owners that didn't jump in on the grant.
Right. Right. So what will this grant entail? Like, what will it do for these places?
A lot of them are bringing back the facade to its original condition, like the State Theater, for instance.
Right.
All of those tiles will be removed. All the work underneath that has been deteriorating will be fixed. It will be returned to its, original historic glory. Things like Walter's Precision Collision, they're taking down those awnings. Kind of the teal awnings have been there for so long.
Right.
We'll now have just a really nice brick facade.
Yeah.
Legacy Outfitters is going to huge impact, but Pear Tree Gallery also is a big one, and La Fiesta, because of their expansion and this facade, is going to be a total facelift for that block.
Nice.
It's more of a modern look.
Yeah.
6th Street seems to be taking on more of a modern look, whereas the downtown's kind of returning, the main downtown, your main fairs, your Market and Broadway, those are more taking, the old style approach, coming
like
back to the way it was. Yeah, exactly. And so it's really cool to see.
So 6th Street's going to go more contemporary then.
Right. Those two businesses, yeah.
Right,
Okay.
and coordination with, they've also approved the streetscape, so they'll get the stamped concrete tree plots and things on that block as well. And then we just had a meeting with the parking lot, their proposed parking lot at the corner of 6th and North Street, that will be landscaped and add parking for this area of 6th Street that's really happening right now. So there's a lot of different things all coming together at once that's going to make a big impact.
And see, that's when you brought up, this has been in the works since 2015, 2016, something like that. But that's why it's so important to go after these things and keep at it and keep putting your hat in the ring for these sort of things. And that's why it takes time as well. You can't just wave a magic wand and make all this stuff happen, right? I mean, it's,
right.
And it's important to lay those foundations so that in the future we have something incredible, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's about saving the downtown. As part of the approval process for this grant match, the Redevelopment Commission asked that all the roofs be inspected, because that's been a long time recurring issue for a lot of these downtown businesses have flat roofs. So then the roofs then ruin the building. So if we fix the facade, but they've got a leaky roof and totally just damage the interior, then we're not moving forward.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. We have a flat roof on this building. And we're downtown, so yeah, it's what you do when you're downtown, I guess.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So when you talk about beautification, I know one of the things you brought up was on the west side. So would you have plans for that too?
Yeah. So was it spring, early March or April, is when we'll start to look at the west end and how we can improve that area, because streetscape is one of those things to where I don't want to say it's a basic improvement, but it's something that you can improve and expect drastic results from it. It may take time, to see those results, but at least you're getting something done. And I just felt like, during the campaign we talked about, the south end, the north end, the west end, not really being included. It seemed like there was kind of some left out, type stories. So that's where, we're kind of focused on that west end a little more, to kind of get them going. And I wanted to touch on the downtown as well. Is the Mayor's Art Advisory Committee does have a plan that we're going to be announcing here soon. That's a 4-year plan for art in our downtown. And one of the starts of that is going to be a mural, a Logansport mural. Art mural over on 6th Street. So it's going to tie in with that new streetscape with the new facades there on 6th Street. So it's going to go great as far as on that end of town, and so then you kind of start looking at the west end. Once you get that streetscape done, okay, now how can we include art on that side? You know what I mean? As it's kind of a main fairway, into our city.
Very nice. So where's this mural going to go?
So it's going to go over across the bridge on 6th Street. So as you're coming into Logansport, so right by the zip through, it's going to go right around that area.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And on the side of that Cass County Government Annex building.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, another county city, cooperation.
Right.
As it goes.
Who's going to do it?
The Mayor's Art Advisory Committee. So they are comprised of artists.
Okay.
And we'll release those
Gotcha.
names and everybody, as soon as they're ready for it.
Right on.
We
Okay.
want them to take the time that they need.
Yeah, right on.
So.
Gotcha. All right. Hey, we'll take a quick break. We'll have more coming up. We got the mayor and deputy mayor in the studio today on Talk of the Town. Keep it right here on WSAL. It's Talk of the Town. It is Tuesday, the 28th day of January. We're live. Second Melbourne downtown Logansport. Mayor Chris Martin in the studio. Deputy Mayor Stacy Cox in the studio as well. I should have asked this at the top of the show, but for those of us that are not in the fold of the local government arena, what exactly is your job as deputy mayor? What do you do? What does that entail?
Well, I do a lot of different things. I focus on managing the departments outside of public safety. So police and fire chiefs report to the mayor.
Okay.
All the other department heads, so street department, cemetery, report to me. So it's just a lot of managing code enforcement, building issues that come up, street department issues. I really don't have to do a lot with them because all those department heads are experienced.
Right.
They do
Right.
a phenomenal job. So
Yeah.
that part's pretty easy.
Sure.
Otherwise, I'm just really busy supporting the mayor, attending meetings, talking to potential investors, granting agencies, going to luncheons. We're busy planning a lot of tours so that we can learn more about what all the departments do. I did that some as clerk treasurer, but not as much as I would like to do. So I'm excited to find time, but our schedule's been so busy with
Right.
so many different things. We were inducted into Rotary yesterday. It's just been a busy time. And a lot of people wanting to visit to introduce themselves and, hope their relationships continue with the city. So once we get past all of those meetings, I'm
Right.
excited to get kind of more into dealing more with the internal departments.
How many meetings do you guys have a week?
I look at my calendar and it looks like a rainbow with maybe some time to eat if we're lucky.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like it's been really busy.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of people that access our calendar and schedule meetings, and it feels like sometimes you look at it that afternoon for the next day and like, oh well, we might have an hour here or there, and then by the time your morning comes, those spots are filled. So it's just been really, really busy with meetings. So we kind of need to work out that balance to find some time to kind of recenter and
Sure.
collect ourselves and talk about all the meetings that we just went to and
Yeah.
work on the plans and what those people need from us. And so it's a learning curve. We got some ways to go.
So let me ask you this, and I guess this is for both of you. As you guys are meeting with all these different groups and people, what's the climate like? What are people looking for?
People are excited. They love the positive attitude. They think it's refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely are a team, and we don't want to take all the credit. We want to use the people that are good at what they do. There's no reason for us to try to be an expert in all the different fields that we're working in when we have people surrounding us that are good at what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really cool watching people just take off. If you task them to do what they're passionate about, it's going to make your life a lot easier, and they already know what they do. So we don't need to pretend like we know how to do it better than they do. So
Yeah.
And that's part of being a leader,
Right.
is knowing, when to delegate, and when to be involved. Micromanaging is not a good thing. and so that's why, if you expect to micromanage and get things done effectively, you're mistaken.
Yeah.
And that's not leadership. Leadership is entrusting in the people that know what they're doing and how they're doing it, because that's what they do.
Right.
So that's part of what we've talked about is just kind of, hey, this is what we've got going on, there's your job, and do everything else that you do, because they do an amazing job. They really do.
And we've been good at asking these people in the community and in internal what they'd like to see. What are some changes you'd like to see made? Because a lot of them have had ideas for a long time and not been given the opportunity to kind of voice those and kind of run with those things. So that's been really fun to watch too, and that's just getting started.
Right. So what are you hearing? What do people want to see? What do they want to change? What do they want to see happen as we go into the future?
Well, I think it's
Jobs.
common, jobs, housing, just overall economic development,
Yeah.
retail.
Yeah,
you know,
more shopping.
I mean, I'm on that bandwagon. There's no place to shop for clothing in this town.
Yeah. Which you guys could just make that happen. You could just make a.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that
goals.
magic wand we talked
That's
about earlier.
right.
You know, that's
Well, it's not how it works at all, is it? I mean,
no, it's not.
at
It
all
is
how it
not
works.
at all how that works.
Yeah.
No, it's not. And I mean, I knew that going into that. I mean, I'm 28.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not stupid. You know, I knew
Right.
going into this I couldn't just wave a magic wand.
Yeah.
You know, and things happen. And I knew that government takes time. But 28 days in, and we've accomplished quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just these are things that are still developing. They're almost at that final stage where we can start making those announcements, and that's why at the State of the City and County address I said, when spring comes, that snowball effect that I've been talking about is going to occur, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be huge for Logansport.
Awesome.
I wish that the public was more educated, and I think that's one of the goals that we're going to work on. Some people think that you can just bring business to Logansport. It's just that simple.
Why?
And we
Why aren't
wish
you
that
doing
were
that?
true. Yeah, exactly. But what we've learned already is the challenges. I mean, we already knew that it wasn't simple, but what you don't know is all these businesses and retailers and restaurants, they all have a model. And if you don't meet that population density, for instance, in a so many mile radius, they don't even look at your community.
Right.
And you're thrown out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's been a group of people, and we've been pretty involved in it, is working on how do you sell Logansport. So you have to work harder to tell the story as to why that business would succeed, even
Yeah.
though it doesn't look good on the numbers and paper.
Yeah.
There still is a need. So we've been exploring creative ideas and really reporting to try to sell that to all these businesses to come to Logansport, because there truly is a need.
So let's put this in real terms, right? So if we had Dale's Wholesale Goods, and Dale's Wholesale Goods is a nationwide chain, and they know exactly what kind of towns they want to go into, exactly what communities they want to be a part of, what kind of money that town makes, like the individuals, what the median income is, all that they know. And if we don't fit into that, then we're not even really considered, right?
Right.
And so then it's economic development is getting them to just at least take a look at us.
Right. We have some pretty aggressive developers that are really, I believe, going above and beyond to
Right.
try to sell this community. I'm not even sure why, but we're having fun getting to know them and learning and sharing our passion for our community, and that's definitely contagious to them. And it's just, everyone wants to make a wise business decision, and if the numbers aren't there, they aren't.
Right.
But so we, kind of have to think outside the box and just spend a whole lot of brainstorming on how can we add value and add people and proof that their business will succeed when the numbers don't really add up.
So let's tie in the MSRP grant back into this. That's why it matters,
Absolutely.
right?
Right.
That helps tell the story to these bigger things.
And I think that's when we got the 30 new houses and that housing project came through, I knew that was a stepping stone to help bring development here.
Mm-hmm.
Because, development follows development. And I feel like we have all these things that are on the verge of happening. And we just need one more thing, that to convince business owner A,
Yeah.
investor B. And
Right.
with the housing project, we're still working on, aggressively on the mall development. There's other housing things in the works, but the downtown facade grant is huge.
Mm-hmm.
There are things working with the WIN initiative to possibly bring a trailhead downtown, connect trails to other communities. There's a lot of things happening.
Right.
And I think the more things happen, the more people are going to see the attention drawn to Logansport and come here, visit, and then they meet with a leadership team that's positive.
Mm-hmm.
And we just got to work on turning the community's attitude to positive. So
Well, it starts at the top.
Absolutely.
I've always felt that it starts at the top and it goes from there. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I agree.
All right.
I agree.
Good deal. Well, hey, guys, I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
We'll
Thank
talk
you
to you
so
around,
much.
okay?
Thank you.
All right, Mayor Chris Martin and Deputy Mayor Stacy Cox on the show this morning.